What's going on, guys? This is Real Deal Fantasy HQ with your boy LQ. Last minute, start 'em, sit 'em, week 12 people. Let's get some people in here right now. Let's share the link. You know the vibes. Hope everybody had a great Thanksgiving. I hope everybody ate good. Everybody made it home safe. Drink responsibly, of course. We got to get some wins this week, people. Playoffs are 2 weeks away. Week 13 is around the corner, and before you know it, this week will be over. So hopefully you come out with a dub this week, people. This is very important that this week we get the dub. And I know a couple people that I've been talking to, via DM and, Instagram, Facebook, etc. They've been on a good win streak. So they actually do or die now. It's do or die time to where we need to get these wins, people, because the playoffs is the most important thing. You want to be in the playoffs. You want to get that chance to bring home the gold, people. That is really what it's all about. If you're not having that on your mind, if you're in fantasy football just to be in it, then, you're not about your money. And if you're in free leagues, it's still fine. It's good to have that competitive nature, just to have, that bragging rights, that little shit talk to have, like, oh, I won this league, blah, blah, blah. But let's get straight to business. So first up, I want to talk stardom, sit-em. We're going to start with the stardom, obviously. So first up, I got Kyle Rudolph, man. It's an obvious plug-and-play here, very cheap. He's only owned in 13% of leagues, according to Sleeper and Yahoo, so he's still out there available. This will be a nice little plug-and-play. I mean, he's facing the Carolina Panthers. They're not really exactly the strongest defense out there, and they're actually struggling against tight ends. So I definitely think Kyle Rudolph is a nice plug-and-play this week for the simple fact, Irv Smith is out, and also we have Adam Thielen out on COVID list. So there's a lot of things going on there, and I understand that the game plan may be to run the ball down Carolina's throat, but Carolina for the last couple of weeks have been getting better at stopping the run. They've been going up in rankings against the run, so I definitely like that. They're actually improving. So I see we have a question already. Would you start Eckler over Jacobs or Robinson standard? Man, I probably would not. I feel like a lot of people are having this Austin Eckler question, but we've been waiting for this moment. There's a lot of, things around him saying that he could get injured again. He might be on a snap count. Pope might, actually taking more carries than he should. But you know what, man? It's playoffs. It's do or die. I'm definitely going with Austin Eckler. But in your situation with Jacobs and James Robinson, I'm going to start those two guys, being that they're safer bets here, and especially at standard. Austin Eckler's probably going to see tons of targets out of the backfield, and it's not PPR, so you don't really gain that much of that extra bonus, but you do get the yard. So I'm going to go with the guys who are going to give me the work on the ground more so, and I'm going to go with Jacobs. Brady or Hill? I hope you're not talking about Taysom Hill, man. Against Denver, I wouldn't like the matchup. I definitely like Brady as well against Kansas City. Here, I'm going Brady, safer. Who sits half PPR, Jacobs, Davis, Hunt, or Eckler? Man, you guys have some great teams, man. I definitely need an invite next year to these leagues because you guys end up with some stellar players. So I'm guessing, Cozy, I have to sit one? Is that what you're asking? Give me some more detail. Keep in mind I'm starting more. All right. Depth is everything for sure, my man. Definitely 100%. Again, I need that invite to that league next year. But back to what I was saying about Kyle Rudolph. Before I go any further into this last question, Kyle Rudolph is a nice little plug and play for you people. Irv Smith, Adam Thielen, obviously out. So boom, 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 bang, bang, bang. He's still available in a lot of leagues, people. Only 13% owned. He is not rostered, all across the board, so there's nothing to really worry about there. So, Gordon, I mean, against New Orleans, you heard the debacle, you heard the circus act, you heard everything that's going on. They have a wide receiver starting as the quarterback for the Denver Broncos. All four quarterbacks that they had on stable were ineligible to play. Basically, they're quarantined, they're dealing with COVID, so therefore we have to gear up a wide receiver. You know what I mean, to be a quarterback. That's not crazy or anything because it's 2020, people. What else can happen? anything is possible, man. When I got that Royce Freeman, notification saying he might be the starting quarterback, I'll just like chalk it up to 2020, man. What else can happen? But here we are. I'm loading up Gordon only for the simple fact that they're going to have to run the ball. They're going to run the ball at least 50 times a piece between Lindsey and Gordon. They're going to have to, big plays out of the backfield. There's going to be a lot of PPR value here between Gordon and Philip Lindsay. And I already think I went over this where Philip Lindsay is the pure runner and Gordon's the guy that catches the passes out of the backfield. You would think it would be the other way around, but it's not. Lindsay looks like the harder runner. He's more of the gut outside. He can get the job done on the ground. So I definitely like Gordon and Lindsey more so than the whole overall matchup of the debacle, the circus of, wide receiver playing quarterback. So to stay on that same game, I got Hinton, basically the wide receiver. He's still available in the wide receiver slots, even though he's playing quarterback today. So you're probably thinking you're going to get that Taysom Hill, little bonus points, but he's going to fucking struggle, people. He's going to struggle really bad. He's not going to have the alley-oop with Taysom Hill. He's not anything we saw on film or anything we've seen on the field already to have Taysom Hill to think like, hey, maybe Hinton's going to act like Taysom Hill. He's going to rush the ball. He's going to throw for 232 yards. That's not going to happen, people. That's not something that's realistic. I don't think that we should be plug and playing him. But if you're in a tight spot, you're 6-5, and you're basically in fuck it, I might make the playoffs, or you're just saying, I have nothing to lose at this point, then go ahead, put him in your wide receiver spot. I mean, he's going to get you more points possibly than a regular wide receiver, but at the end of the day, is he going to help you win? Is he going to help you, move further into getting to that playoff spot, to get into that 6th seed, or however many playoff teams you guys allow in your league? So I definitely am sitting him. I'm pumping the brakes on him, full sending that like to the bench, because I don't want any parts of that game. It's going to be a massacre, man. And it's not like, we're seeing anything to affect where New Orleans is a bad defense, so he has an actual fighting chance. No, he does not. It's going to be a massacre, people. They're going to get to the quarterback. They're going to flush him out of the pocket. They're going to, play zone, basically, because he's basically a rookie quarterback right now, wet behind the ears, fresh off the street, basically from the practice squad, being a wide receiver. There's not much experience there. He had a couple, passes here or there, years back, and he was a quarterback in college, I guess. When you convert, there's no going backwards. You know what I mean? Like, I couldn't see Terrell Pryor being a quarterback right now, being that he already converted to a wide receiver, training as a wide receiver currently today as of 2020 on his Facebook page, Instagram page. He's training to be a wide receiver. So for him to even get that call, like, hey, can you be quarterback? He's going to look fucking terrible because he's so far removed from actually, being a quarterback. So that, hands off. I'm not for any of that. So moving on. Next, the biggest question is this Baltimore game, the Steelers game. Deonte Johnson is one of the studs that everybody's questioning. Do they start him? What do we do with any player with Baltimore or the Steelers pending a third postponement of the game? Now, Deonte Johnson has been known to make fantasy owners pay when you sit him. I mean, I'm one of them. He was injured one game. He left early one game. He kind of burned me 1.3 points, and then you're sitting there like, what the fuck? But when he's healthy and he's full, ready to go, you have to load him up, people. Deonte Johnson is a must start for the rest of the season. He's proven that the targets are there, the volume is there. It does not matter to the point, removed from being injured, obviously. But I'm not worried about the game being postponed. It's just another day of football for these guys. They're professional football players. So you're probably thinking like, well, they have, more rest. They're lazier. They're going in with a little bit of rust. No, these guys are professional players. We're 12 weeks into the football season. So I definitely think they're keeping in mind that they need to stay in shape. They need to stay ready and go out there and win the game. I mean, they have a lot on the line right now. They have the record on the line. They want to go 11-0. So I don't think there's any question really for any of the studs that are on Baltimore that are on the Steelers. You don't sit any of those guys. You start your studs regardless. I don't think, moving the game a different date or a different day really matters. Like a Tuesday at 5:00 game doesn't affect much of the fantasy world. You know what I mean? A game's a game. It should be a good game, actually. Is one of the games that I had on mine watching Thursday night for Thanksgiving, but we did not get that. So here is the answer. You start your studs for Steelers, Baltimore. You start them, you start them, you start them. Claypool, you start him. You just don't mess with anything in that, realm of where you have to question this, like sit your studs. Like they both been very active, giving us fantasy relevant points week to week, when they're healthy. So there's that. Already touched on Austin Eckler against Buffalo. He should feast today. You should see a high volume. Kalen Ballage is out. He was questionable, so he's not playing. So they're probably going to lean on Eckler a lot. I mean, again, you start your studs, but this has me like kind of on the fence. I'm kind of 70-30, 70 start him, 30%, sit him. But at the end of the day, Austin Eckler is a stud. We've been waiting for this. He's one of the guys that actually probably took you out of, playoff talks, but he's back. He's healthy now. So you're probably to the point where you need to start this guy. But this is a great matchup for him as well against Buffalo. I definitely think, they'll look to him more so than, the other guys, Kelly and Pope, than, to be the workload carry. So I think Eckler has a good chance to, be dominant. Got another question. What up? You seem new to the channel. Please make sure you like and subscribe for me, man. Help a brother out. Mike Williams or Mims? I'm going Mike Williams for sure. I do not like Mims now that Adam Gates is the play caller. Now he is back, calling the shots. Sam Darnold also back in the lineup. I'm not liking what I'm probably going to see from Mims. He's held captive as long as Adam Gates is still employed, which I don't understand how, honestly. Like, I don't understand how he still has a job. Matt Patricia was fired just the other day, and it's like, how does Adam Gates still skate through all this bullshit? It is fucking crazy to me how Adam Gates still has a fucking job. How? Please, somebody explain to me. Please explain to me how he still has a job, because it just doesn't make sense to me at all. Anyway, it doesn't even matter. Moving on. But like I said, Mike Williams for sure. Make sure you like and subscribe for me, brother. Next question. Can you rank? Good morning to you, Chris. Make sure you like and subscribe for me, man. You seem new to the channel. Please help me, man. Please help me get those numbers up. But can you rank Brian Hill, Gus Edwards, Rita, Boyd, full PPR? So are we starting any of these guys? I think Brian Hill, honestly, he's in 2 of my league lineups. I like him. I feel like he is the better runner overall than Gurley, healthy or not. I think Gurley is very touchdown dependent. We know that. But I think Brian Hill should show up and show out. Gus Edwards, pending, this, I can't really say he's a stud. So he's not one of those studs I would start, but he is the lone wolf in that backfield with Mark Ingram and J.K. Dobbins out. So he might actually be a good start, being that he put up, close to 100 yards against Pittsburgh last time they played. But again, I don't know, pending, a post third game, reschedulement. I don't know if they will even play, but moving on. Breida, he seems to be the sole back. He has a great matchup as well. I mean, we haven't seen much out of Breida this year. I don't even think he went double-digit points in fantasy this entire year in PPR formats. I don't really think he's going to be like a big thing this game, but he could be. He could pop off. I mean, we've seen Matt Breida in San Fran. We've seen him be very useful. We've seen him be very explosive out of that backfield. There was once upon a time Breida was like back-to-back top 10, weeks as a running back, but he's with the Dolphins now. It's a whole new situation. I definitely like, Breida being the sole back there. So I don't really know where to rank him right now. I think you kind of have it, correct if we're talking about the 3 running backs there. Boyd with no Burrow. Oh my God, no Burrow. This is going to be interesting to see. I really feel bad for Tyler Boyd, and I feel bad for T. Higgins. They take a hit for sure. I definitely don't know what's going to be on the field. I definitely don't know what we're going to see out of these guys. I definitely just don't have the answers right now to actually know how Boyd's going to look. So you honestly have it in correct order of how you've written it if we're talking full point PPR. So this might be, very hurtful for Boyd this week. I got him in the starting lineup. You got to start your studs. You got it. You got to start your guys. So there's that. What's up, Jimmy? You seem new to the channel as well. Make sure you like and subscribe for me. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram as well. Help me out, man. Let's keep pushing good content. But I'm going to answer your question. Davis today over Crowder, man. Here's the thing about Adam Gates. I have this rant over and over and over again about Adam Gates, how terrible he is for the Jets, and he's hurting everybody's development. But it seems to me that the only sole person you can start for the Jets and be dependent and be actually safe is Crowder. Crowder is the safe bet here. Crowder is the only wide receiver, the only player on the Jets that you can put in your starting lineups and you get good feedback back. You get, your bang for your buck, because a lot of people are getting burned with Mims. I mean, a lot of people are really dependent on Rashad Perryman to get the deep bomb every single game, which isn't going to happen now because we have Sam Darnold back. We only got that out of Joe Flacco, which was nice seeing. He showed a little bit of veteran presence where we were like, oh, okay, cool, yeah. You know what? Yeah, that's pretty cool to see. You airing the ball out, something we don't really see from Sam Darnold. But Sam Darnold's back. Adam Gates is back back calling the shot. So I definitely don't like that. But Crowder's the sole jet you can start and forget, people. It's probably going to snow on Tuesday game with Ravens and Pittsburgh. That said, should I start Deonte over Sterling Shepard? Hey, man, you got to start your studs, man. Deonte Johnson. And by the way, welcome to the channel. Make sure you like and subscribe for me as well. I definitely need the help. I definitely need, the numbers to go up so we can keep pushing out good content and let me know that I'm doing a good job. But being that it's going to snow, you're probably thinking they're going to run the ball a lot, but we just don't know if this game's happening at all. But I think regardless of snow, this is weather they're used to. So I think you fire up Deonte Johnson regardless, man. He's a stud. He's been known to make people pay. He made me pay for sitting him before, and he put up like 30 points that game. So I definitely don't want to miss out on any of the Deonte Johnson, wave for the rest of the season because we are in playoff hopes, people. We're in playoff mode. Playoffs are like basically around the corner, people. This week will be over. It'll be week 13. You got 1 week into the playoffs. So are you ready? Are you prepared? Are you ready to cut ties with guys that are basically just sitting on your bench, not helping you, bring in gold? Are you still hoping that Marquise Brown pops off now or next week or in the playoffs because you should have been cut him? It's to the point where there's guys like that. Even Sterling Shepard, I'm not seeing much out of him week to week. I can't depend on him. Darius Slayton, another guy I cannot depend on week to week. These are all guys that I need to get out of my life. So I don't need to sit here and question, should I start them over somebody else that deserves to start, who's been very dependent, who's been finding the end zone or having the volume. Volume is key here, people. Volume is key. If they're getting the volume, you send them in, you put them in. They should be giving you, stud numbers. So that should answer your question right there. Thank you for coming by. So next up, I want to talk about Sony Michelle, people. Sony Michelle is a nice little trap. People are firing him up in starting lineups against Arizona today. Please don't do it. Please don't do it. This is why. He is definitely going to cut into Damian Harris's, carries. I don't think that, Sony Michelle is coming back. He's coming back as a stud. He's coming back as, the guy that will get all the red zone touches. He's only back. He was a healthy scratch last week. He's only back because of Rex Burkhead is out. So, therefore, he cuts into Harris's, touches. But you have to remember, James White is there. A lot of people forget James White exists. I don't know how they forget James White is still there in that equation. He plays a big part in that offense. That is an easy dump-off pass to Cam Newton. That's what Cam Newton needs to get the ball moving. That's how they get the ball moving forward. They're struggling as an offense as a whole. That O-line doesn't look that great. So James White, you fire him up. He's going to fucking get the dump-off passes at backfield. Harris is going to run crazy all over the field. And then you might have Sony Michelle that will get probably like 6 to 9 carries, touches total this game. So it's just pestering. So don't load up Sony Michelle hoping that what you'll get is last year's, volume and last year's like efficiency about him being like very touchdown dependent, him taking the goal line, carries and finding the end zone here and there. That's not the situation here right now, people. We need to smarten up. We're week 12, people. I can't stress to you anymore that playoffs are here. Playoffs are basically here. This is do or die week. This is do or die week for the simple fact you make one mistake. That could be your mistake of not getting to the playoffs. That'll be your one mistake. Treat every game right now as a playoff game. Every game needs to be treated from this week, next week, and so on as a playoff game. Think about today. If you make this one mistake, if you sit this one guy, or if you make a stupid decision to put this guy in your starting lineup, that could be curtains for you, man. That could literally be curtains for you. You could be knocked out of playoff contention just like that. So that is definitely something that you need to keep in mind. Moving on. Carson Wentz, a lot of people still loading him up. I don't know why. People are hoping that he'll face this, Seahawks defense and he'll air the ball out and he'll, be amazing again. He'll be the guy that we love. But Carson Wentz has not looked great, people, at all. And you have to also understand, you're putting a starting quarterback as your QB1 or whatever, if you're in a super flex league or whatever, he's your QB2, et cetera, et cetera. You're putting a QB1 in your line who has his snap opportunity at threat being that the Eagles are saying they're going to put in Jalen Hurts and a couple plays without Carson Wentz on the field. So therefore, they're going to have Jalen Hurts showcase his leadership, showcase his throwing ability, how he could read defenses and read the blitz and all this, etc. That is taking basically snap opportunity from your starting quarterback for a position you really only need one of. You know what I'm saying? In certain leagues, what I'm talking about. But you're going to put Wentz in your starting lineup, and he's not even going to be on the field for 60% of the time if Jalen Hurts actually blows up and starts playing like how he should be playing. He's going to – if he actually pops off and he throws for like 11 for 14 or whatever and one touchdown, you really think Wentz is coming back on that field? Not happening. Not happening. They're showcasing what can possibly be the future for the offseason for Wentz or who could be the starting quarterback for next year. So I definitely don't like those odds of a Monday night game at 1 against the Seahawks who are, looking for revenge. They're looking to get back on the top of the NFC West because, the leaders are here. But anyway, that is nothing to do with anything that's going on right now. Wentz should not be fired up in any type of starting lineups. I guess for the rest of the season, to be honest, I'm not really too fond of guys that throw interceptions because if you're in leagues that I'm in, interceptions, they cost heavy. You get penalized a lot of points. Some leagues are 2 points. Some leagues are 4 points. I'm the Scott Fishbowl League. Oh, my God. You're getting killed off of interceptions. I think it's like -6 or 8, you know what I mean, for one interception. So that your score systems are all different, but I'm not too fond of guys that throw interceptions, that give points to the defense. I'm not for that at all. So once you get the bench for now and forever. Really quickly, next one I got is Cam Akers. Cam Akers, I hate talking bad about my guys. I'm not really talking bad about my guys, but I'm basically, being realistic. I'm being, non-biased. But Cam Akers, he has been flashing. He has been showing that he can be, very useful, that we should see more of him. We are screaming more of Cam Akers to be the lead back there. But what's happening is you still have Malcolm Brown, you still had Henderson, and he's just at the bottom of the totem pole when it comes to snap opportunity. So you still have Henderson out-snapping him, you still have Malcolm Brown out-snapping him, but what's happening is we're seeing Cam Akers being more efficient and be more useful, getting more yards than, a Henderson or a Malcolm Brown, but it's just snap opportunity. I don't want a guy on my bench that's only seeing less than 30% of snap opportunity. I don't want a guy on my bench that's not going to have all the opportunities in the world to actually find the end zone. He found the end zone last week, which was great, but he wasn't in a lot of starting lineups. So I definitely think, this will be a sit, even though you're probably all happy, all geared up, like, yeah, man, he's killing it right now. He's going to get more opportunity, but you have to understand Sean McVay is a liar. He is a liar. He is not going to fire up Cam Akers. It's not Cam Akers season just yet. I think we need to just be hopeful that we have something to look forward to next season. What up? Got one more question before I get out of here. I got beer to drink, I got food to eat, and it's almost kickoff. So Edmonds or Wilkins? Wilkins get the Titans. Well, we know no Jonathan Taylor, so I honestly think this will be a nice split between him and Hines. I think this will be the matchup where I find it that, Wilkins could end up finding the end zone. Even though Hines has looked like the red zone back, he has looked like the goal line back as well. He just looked efficient. He just looks like an RB1. But I definitely like Wilkins actually catching balls out of the backfield. I like him, being used in the red zone as well, just as much as Hines, if not. But I definitely like Wilkins against the Titans. This matchup, I do like with Wilkins. Edmonds, I'm not too sure about. I got time for one more. Oh, fire up Hunter Henry. All Hunter Henry shares should be started. Do not sit Hunter Henry. You shouldn't have been sitting Hunter Henry. This is a great matchup. Buffalo has given up the third most points to tight ends, people. So it's a full send season. So we are literally 6 minutes away from kickoff. I want to thank you guys who came through, who showed some love, who subscribed, to my new subscribers, to new watchers, whoever was in here, people. I want you to like and subscribe to Real Deal Fantasy HQ. And I'll see you guys next week for another great episode of Real Deal Fantasy HQ. I just said that. That's twice. But anyway, I'll see you guys next week and enjoy, week 12. Hopefully you get a dub. Shout out to the Wolfpack. Shout out to my new followers. And I'll see you guys later.